eno yatandika mu 2017 mbadde ncontinuinga bwe mwagenda nga mupushinga yo control in the region mwagenda ne mu creating some sort of false narrative on attacks and burning of the homes and stuff ne mufuna grants ne muteeta abantu bano ne mubakwasa passports za bannansi abalala ne mubasindika mu America. Bangi, they're big in numbers. Naye mulina okukimanya nti nno omuzungu abategedde olwaleero kye mwakoze Washington DC. Museveni babategedde nti ezo victims card ze muzannya bazitegedde. Now, ngenda kwogerako a few things about the victims card bano abasajja ze bazannya bano. Kubanga nze nabalabye ng'abamu boogera mu Luganda, abamu boogera Luswayiri, abamu beebikidde tebagala balaba feesi zaabwe, beetwalanga abatya be bafoosinze okukola kye bagenza okukola, naye nga bano Banyarwanda be bagenze mu Washington DC ne ba staging a protest esukka mu over 5,000 people. Bannange bwe baba bakoze kino ekintu mu America musuubire nti they can do the worst in Africa. So fellow Ugandans abagala change mu Uganda njagala okubasaba mwegatte ku bakongo bonna we bali. N'abana Uganda abali mu America bwe muba musobola okwegatta ku bakongo bonna we bali. True Congolese si banyamulenge. Muba supporting against this common enemy. It will be a very great milestone. Ba protesting against Sekedi. Native bamanyi nti they are exposing President wa America. Bo balowooza nti ba protesting against Sekedi. Naye they are trying to expose omukulembeze wa America. Ate abayambye okubawa obubudamu. Entegera y'abantu bano ya munguuba ng'omuntu omu bwe yagamba. Nayimiridde awo alongside the road for 30 minutes. And I saw how these people were really evil. They are evil. How do you get somebody's flag? Ne muje patikako ne muje kozesa ekintu bwe kityo in a foreign country. Nga you're not using your country's flag. Mwogera Lunyarwanda. Era Kagame bye byavaayo n'agamba Southern Uganda mbisimanyi bajja okwawulamu okutema Abanyarwanda babasalira mu Uganda mu Southern Uganda. Ebibozibozi bya Kagame azenga abyogera era gye bujja mu maaso awo mujja kubalaba nga bagamba nti bana Uganda. Now, the victim card strategy banasajja bazanya evolving around vulnerability claims to persecution. Bagamba nti bali vulnerable in the region and they're being persecuted. Bakikozesa ekyo okufuna asylum before bagenzeemu. Bakikozesa ekyo okufuna okusikinga aid obuyambi mu nsi ez'enjawulo. Nga bazanya victim card zaabwe ezo. Yet they are the very people persecuting people in various countries gye bava. Tunuulira Uganda, for example. It is the Tutsis that have infiltrated the security system in the country and are killing indigenous people. Nabagamba mu Democratic Republic of Congo, over 30 years of Kagame presence in Congo. 30 years Kagame zamaze mu Eastern DRC ngabba ng'alootinga. Asse abantu abasukka mu 20 million. Jukira Congo ina population esukka mu 100 million people. Naye bino byonna Kagame abikola kwekwata kubanga amanyi nti bagenda kumugjayo bamu exposing on committing crimes against humanity, especially in Eastern DRC. Mwena mujjukire nti Kagame bwajja mu Uganda nga refugee n'amala n'azimba eggye lya RPF. Eggye lya RPF litandikira Uganda, teryatandikira Rwanda. era Kagame yali takkirizibwa e Rwanda nga bamutwalanga omugande webakiyita. Kagame baali bamuganye okugenda e Rwanda n'agenda by force n'akuba Habyarimana, bw'amala okuba Habyarimana n'akwata eggye bannansi nga Kagame akutte obuyinza. Jjukira Rwanda erina francophone ne anglophone. Francophone si be bana bakulidde Uganda baba bavudde Uganda. Abo ba mu Rwanda yali nsi ya Lufalansa, yali nsi ya Luzungu, ekyuse kuba ya Luzungu Kagame ng'atekinze over. Aba ku francophone baamugaana era nga bamuyita baki? Ate abatuusi bangi ba francophone abatuusi nga bamuyita omugande. Kagame kye yakola kwe kutandika okutta abantu abo over the years after 1994. Chovola ba numbers za growing from the recorded 200, 500, 700,000 victims of genocide to go into 2 million. Ekyo kiri evident ejje eryava e Uganda lyabizimbira e Uganda ery'Abanyarwanda Abanyamulenge ba RPF lyagenda nga about killing people mu bifo ebyenjawulo mu Rwanda. Mu bifo byonna ebyo Kannombe, Remera, Kakiru, Kimihurura, Gikondo, yonna Kabenza, genda wa mu mujji bagenda nga batta abantu. Era aba witnesses we bali abagamba nti amagye ga RPF gattanga abantu era gashootinganga abantu indiscriminately. Kagame oyo history togenda kusobola kumwerezinga. Ne Museveni, kubanga Museveni oli omu ku bafundinze ekintu ekyabadde kigenda mu maaso mu Washington DC, era fellow Ugandans mutegeeza America ku mikutu gyammwe egyenjawulo nti Museveni is behind the processions as are happening in Washington DC on Monday the 20th. Museveni is one of those that supported and financed. Museveni gave the intelligence on that procession. Americans should know, should understand that the person they've been funding to push their interests, they've been building a beast, a militia that is going to turn worse than ISIS in the region, but even globally. These people he has trained to be assassins. Mwabalaba ne luli ku hotel ya mukyala wa President Tshisekedi. They went to the hotel of President Tshisekedi's wife when she was on the invite of Madame Melania Trump. They went and wanted to assassinate her at her hotel. They are more dangerous than ISIS. Bana abantu Kagame ne Museveni baguluminze. So fellow Ugandans temukiwala nga kyakusaaga mutandika okukikuba ku social media mugambe Abamerica nti Museveni gwe mutwalanga omuntu wammwe. Museveni ahabaringa terrorists, and these terrorists have infiltrated America and they were part of the processions in Washington DC, and they must be profiled. They must be profiled and they must be deported back to Rwanda. Mukupushinga interests zaabwe zino kyovola Museveni e Uganda ataddemu abantu bangi, aleesa Eritrea, aleesa abaki, buli mawanga gonna agayiyomu. Era recently yali akyogerako nti Uganda ekyasinze okubeera ki host country to most refugees globally. Abakozesa okufuna obuyambi, abakozesa okunyiga bannansi. Nabagamba 2 months ago nali Minnesota mu Basumaali. Abasumaali abo abasinga abali willingly leaving America, destination yaabwe nabagamba eri Uganda. Era bangi bazze Uganda. Ate we bajje Uganda, bangi babeera mu ssente z'omuwi omusolo gwe Uganda. Jukira bano abantu bali pushed by Salim Saleh. Bali supported and pushed by Salim Saleh. Salim Saleh ayina classified budget mu national budget. Ayina budget yeyiye gyakoleramu okwenforcing ebintu by'abantu bano. Mujjukire mabekaawo bagendanga every almost month balinayo basimba mu communities omwo ku RDC's offices ne bawa packages ne bawa sente. Naye be bali mu apartments eziri expensive, be bali mu neighborhoods eziri expensive, mu nansi gyatasobola kugenda. So ngamba bolira ku zino a victim card strategy ya Museveni ne banyamulenge be tusinyamulengezi bagenda around the world bagamba nti they are vulnerable, bagamba nti they are being persecuted, ne bakikozesa ekyo okufuna ssente, bakikozesa ekyo okufuna obutuuze mu nsi ez'enjawulo. They are the ones persecuting the natives of the countries where they're coming from, where they have occupied. They go on playing those victim card strategy. Gabagamba anti they're being excluded. They face exclusion. Naye botunuulira mu Uganda, who has excluded Ugandans from opportunities? It is Museveni Tusi, Museveni Munyamulenge King. All our jobs and diplomatic appointments globally is Abana Uganda. They are being held by these Banyamulenges. Opportunities to education, they are all being given to these Banyamulenges. Education sponsorships in the country are all being given, 90% given to these people. Even in the military, these people are directly embedded into Uganda's budget to support them in various projects, including housing. Nabagamba, mugende mu Housing Finance Bank, mumanye, mu profilinga abantu abo ddala baganda manya, abafuna grants za housing, 90% Banyarwanda. Land acquisitions in the country. In the past 5-10 years, genda olabe baluwa abasinza okugula amataka, genda mu Lands Office. Baluwa abasinza okwayalinga amataka mu Uganda, naddala mu Buganda, Banyarwanda, Banyamulenge. So, batusiba ekikookolo nga batulimba, naye nga bapushinga their victim card strategy. Eyo victim card strategy tulina okugishootinga down. Yeyo victim card strategy Museveni gye yabadde avaayo ng'agamba nti tulina okukola land reforms. Sir Apollo Kagwa yabba ettaka ly'abajjajjaffe. Eyo victim, so you're not even part of the people that were affected by Sir Apollo Kagwa's land policy. Because you're not a Ugandan, Museveni, you came in 1950s to Uganda. You're not born in Uganda. You grew up from refugee camps, and those things are on records. And some of the people that were present when you were around, when all this information was, they're still alive till today. You've entrenched power. Ovuma Sir Apollo Kagwa, oliawo mukuvuma Sir Apollo Kagwa, nti biki, Sir Apollo Kagwa yazimba a system that you have failed to break for the past 40 years. Yes. Sir Apollo Kagwa worked hard to institutionalize the elite community. He focused on solidifying the position of the Katikiro, the Prime Minister, and the chiefs as the primary administrators. By doing that, he was trying to reduce absolute power from the king. And it felt safe for everybody else within the kingdom. Ekyo kyotosobola kulaba Museveni. Naye gwe consolidating the power in the country. The three arms of government oziggyeko power. Judiciary tekyalina power. Executive teyina power. Ne parliament yenyini tebalina power. Buli omu apushinga your interests. You have abused the constitution. Nobility does not work the way you work, Museveni. Tojja kuvuma Sir Apollo Kagwa and compare yourself to Sir Apollo Kagwa and think that you can match his leadership styles and his capacity to grow and develop systems. Yazimba system that many have failed to take down, and you cannot take it down. Even your agents like Maiga, they cannot take down a system that was built by Sir Apollo Kagwa. Even if you manipulate that parliament, manipulate it and get your selfish interests, but you're not going to put down the strategies laid by our grandfathers. Museveni okumanya oli waloosi nnyo nange muzzukulu wa Sir Apollo Kagwa wannenyumirizaamu. Omanyi we wannenyumirizaamu Museveni? In 2014, when URA acquired supercluster engineering systems and they were expecting a white man to come and implement those systems, it was Aaron Masembe who came in, delivered a training and consultancies to that implementation. Museveni n'olyoka no gamba. Now we are able, our systems are highly available. As URA, we are able now to realize our tax revenues. Oyo nno muzzukulu wa Saapolo Kaggwa ye yakola ebyo. Gwodda ku mutimbagano n'otandika okumanyiira. Toyina moral authority to attack Apollo Kaggwa because he built systems that you cannot break. Apollo Kaggwa worked towards economic modernization of the kingdom, of the kingdom. And he supported expansion of that modernization across other chiefdoms and kingdoms rather. Genda mbanyankolo babuuze baki abaagendangayo basomesa n'okubayamba okuadopting enkola ya Buganda. It was Baganda chiefs that moved there. Mubunyoro, Mutoro. That economic modernization facilitated the introduction of cash crops. Abaganda tried to lima coffee, cotton. I think alesemu a lot of revenue. Genda dewa kubulire nti mbiseera ebyo twali bagagga sebo nnyo era twatiisa Omungereza. The wealth Buganda had at the time in the region twali bagagga n'okusinga Kenya. Newankubadde yali ku mwalo, ffenna tetuli ku mwalo. Abantu basasulanga emisolo nga balina system ekola nga n'Omumerika tagirina. Ekikulu Museveni owuliriza nnyo pokopoko tosoma. Museveni you don't read. Museveni ngenda ku encouraging to go read about unbiased observation on Buganda by a former American president Kuwaitanga Roosevelt. Roosevelt visited Uganda before he was assassinated. Go read about him. What he spoke about Buganda Kingdom. He was mesmerized. They used to think, they used to have a false narrative in America that, you know, black people are not intelligent enough. Until this man came to Africa and saw a system he had never seen anywhere in his global tours. And when they saw that his mindset had changed after visiting Africa, they had to assassinate him because he was changing the narrative. There are people like Museveni who are stuck into their parochial mindset. They cannot see things from a broader perspective. Sir Apollo Kaggwa attacking Asebo is in a different class of leaders than you, that even this generation would struggle to acquire, to have. If Sir Apollo Kaggwa established the private land ownership, rather private ownership of land, Mairu, that was a good strategy. Kubanga kyatekawo formal land titles, formalizing land titles. The Chiambaba chiefs abo owning land permanently, rather than the king, him deciding that akali gwe wano nkujjeko kwa nkwadde wano. Kyatekawo a sense of security. Ngule manyayo kati ngono nze owningawo kabaka bampaddewo ne title yange njirina. It gives somebody a sense of security. Mubone title okola ki? Osobola okuborrowinga, osobola okwekulaakulanyizaako n'okulaakulanya n'abafamile yo. Ebyo byogezaako okumenya bye baazimba edda over 100 years ago. Sir Apollo Kaggwa yakola ku political consolidation mu Buganda. Wasomako ku regents. The regents obasomako and those pro-British chiefs. It was Sir Apollo Kaggwa's system to reward them, to have them rewarded. Era bwe yaba rewardinga kyabawa sense of security and loyalty within the kingdom. Such a unique strategy in the kingdom that would emphasize its kingdom yonna erimu loyalty surviving turmoils ez'enjawulo. Era kati bw'obadde olaba ntandise okwataakinga Buganda kingdom kubanga baluzinga our loyalty. Naye loyalty eyo gy'olabawo mu Buganda etambudde for generations and generations was built by Sir Apollo Kaggwa gw'ogezaako okwataakinga Museveni. Museveni, you should know one thing. Every time you come out and then deceive Ugandans and push false narratives, we will come and demystify them. We will come and demystify your false narratives. tujja kubuulira abantu ekituufu oba ebituufu ebyaliwo oleme genda mu maaso ng'olimbalimba abantu ng'ozimba ekintu ekyekikookolo. Temujja kutuzimbako bintu, tujja kusomesa abaana baffe, tusomese n'abantu content, tumuteeke ku mitimbagano, tumuteeke abaddewo bali mulaba, bali bimanya ensi yaffe yali etya, ensi yaffe yatambulanga etya, ensi yaffe yafugibwanga etya ng'Abanyamulenge tebannagiyingiramu kugikwata. These chiefs became major stakeholders in the kingdom. With the new colonial administration, they became key stakeholders. And that, of course, ensured survival and autonomy of the kingdom. Naye tebalinga ba stakeholders. Ezo nazo contributions za Sir Kaggwa. Omusajja gwe twandigambye teyasoma nnyo kwenkana. Naye ate Museveni wasomera wa graduatingira wa ne mukyala we yennyini gw'okyaganya okureplacinga as minister of education. Okusoma kwe kwa Munguuba. Kwa Munguuba, Museveni give Ugandans a new minister for education. Because in the next 20 to 30 days, I'm going to come and demystify the lies you are concealing about your wife. Nja kujja nzoogereko. Naye saagala kuyingira mu bintu bya famire yo. Naye kati oyingiridde Sir Kaggwa, tugenda kuyingirira. Museveni, the king of the Banyamulenge Tutsi community in the Great Lakes region. You have for so long played the victim card strategy to perpetuate your rule. You and Kagame. Kagame akozesa the genocide in Rwanda to plague victims. Yet more Hutus died. The numbers show. Tutsis were not 2 million at the time. There was a census by USAID. Genocide against the Tutsis. Genocide against the Tutsis. Until yesterday you said there are no tribes in Rwanda. You erased all tribes in Rwanda. And people viewed and regarded as Rwandese, but no Hutu, no Tutsi, no Twa. Ate ovuddeyo ogambe genocide against the Tutsis. Kiki kyogezaako kupushinga awo? Isn't that a victim card strategy? Kagame ne Museveni, the Americans should get to understand who you are indeed. People should get to understand who you are. You have staged a massive procession in Washington, D.C., and this will go in history that is the reason why they're going to turn against you and they're going to unseat you as presidents in the Great Lakes region. Museveni, stop attacking people that will never know that you ever existed while you keep driving your selfish tribal cards. Toyina kyotugamba Museveni. In the interest of time, fellow Ugandans munzikirize nkome wano for now. Naye mbasaba obubaka buno bwe mbawadde olwaleero oba okusomesa kuno okutonotono kwe mbawadde olwaleero muku meditatingeko era mukukoleko okunoonyereza okwenjawulo ate mugezeeko nnyo wiiki eno nga procession eno ekyaluma Abamerika gye bastaginze mu Washington DC kubanga Abamerika basunguwavu nnyo okulaba abaddugavu mu Africa bayamba okubudama wano nga bakoze procession eya messing up business zaabwe and their peace of mind. Bangi bawadde bad feedback about that procession. Ate nga Abanyamulenge bakozesa flag za Democratic Republic of Congo, disguising that they are attacking President Tshisekedi. Kumbe they are indirectly denting the American president. Fellow Ugandans rally behind President Tshisekedi because he's doing the right thing to protect the interests of his people. And us Ugandans need a president that understands us and will protect the interests of Ugandans, but not Museveni, who is sponsoring such processions in Washington. Museveni and Kagame sponsoring processions in Washington, D.C. will not go down good because these people are carrying our passports. The system in America, ibamanyinga bana Uganda, bana Kenya, bana Tanzania, bana Rwanda, but they're disguising, they're coming out in processions as if they're Congolese. And they're not even Congolese. First and foremost, Congo has tribes that are beyond 400 tribes. Congo has over 450 tribes. Banyamulenge people in Congo don't even account to 2% of that number. And they are Rwandese, and they're using Congolese flags to dent the image of a sovereign country, which I think is so wrong. Now, to those of you that are trying to search me, are looking for my information and details, I'm not on social media. I'll first of all let you know this. My LinkedIn page was hacked. Some of you tried to look for me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn page was hacked. It was a great profile with vast experience. It was hacked. When I went through those things last year, my LinkedIn page was hacked. So siri ku social media. But in the right time, I'll come out and you see me. And those who are trying to reach me, I'm distancing myself from talking to people and meeting people because my safety is more important at this time than meeting people. That's why it is impossible for me for you to talk to me today and think that you're going to see me after 2 months, 3 months, 5 months. No, it's not possible. I would be stupid. When I know how vulnerable it is to operate and talk about political things in the Great Lakes region, I know about that bit. I cannot put myself out for and expose myself to people that I know whose interests are to eliminate us. They are quick to kill. They are quick to poison. So, fellow Ugandans, let's stay positive and do everything within our reach and capabilities to see that we get into the new Uganda, a Uganda that is non-discriminative, a Uganda that is fair to all Ugandans, a Uganda that we love to see, not where we are denied access to employment, access to healthcare services, access to education, and we can't hand such a country to our children. We should fight for a better country that we would want to hand to our children with good leadership that gives opportunity to all. Now we don't have the opportunity to even engage into leadership positions in the country. The moment you want to pronounce yourself as a leader, they hack you, they poison you, they wait for you from somewhere. They control 90% of medical services and hospitals in the country, so you cannot seek medical services in the country. Any medical facility you're going to walk into, they have an agent there. You need to be extremely careful where you access medical services in the country. It's that important for God and my country. Bye-bye.